Adding content to your drop zones is pretty straightforward, but I've got a couple tips that may speed it up for you. First of all, depending on the transition, you may want to be in director view. So I have a transition here. I'll play through it. It's just the default settings right now. I haven't modified it at all. So this is the one called Milestones, and it has many drop zones that move along here. And based on the default camera animation, we don't see the whole timeline like we do in some of the other ones. So the view mode is set to camera, and the framing right now is this particular framing called look right angled. I could choose straight back up and get to see a different view, but I still can't see all the drop zones. So in this case, I'm going to keep look right angled, but I'm going to go to the director view to change my drop zone content, because this way I can see all of the drop zones. And in fact, I know I don't want this many. So the first thing I may do is turn some off. So with all of these, you can enable or disable drop zones that you want to use or don't want to use. We can see drop 1, drop 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. I actually know I only have 5 clips to use between transition A and B. So I'm going to turn off 1, also turn off 2, and I'll turn off 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll turn off 4 and 5 as well. 4 and 5. And then also turn off 11. I'm not going to need that either. I'll scroll all the way down and turn off 11. And then I'll move transition A over so that it starts there. So now if I go back to my camera view, our animation will still go from A to B, but now it will just cover those 5 clips in between. Super. So I want to put content in those clips. And fastest way to do that, let me just see if we see the first one there. Let's move to where we can see the first one. I'm going to stay a little closer so we can actually, there, we can see all 5. I don't need to be in director view, because in this case, director view is pretty far away. So all we need to do to add content to the drop zone is scroll down to the drop zone we want. And in fact, I will go back to director view because I can't see the names of the drop zones here. So drop zone 6 is where I want my first content to go. So I'll go down to drop zone 6 and click on the well. And then I just choose the content I want. And I'm going to be a little bit arbitrary here. You can add video or stills. These happen to be video clips. So I will click on this one. And wherever you click, that is the point that the content will be added, that frame, based on the position of the playhead. So one useful thing is if you have the playhead in the middle of your transition, that's where that particular frame will match up to. But if it doesn't matter as much to you, and with drop zones, it's not as critical because you're going to move past them pretty quickly, I'm just going to select a frame, and we can see it filled it in there. Now, my next tip is don't click Apply Clip. There's no reason to. We can just keep going here. So drop zone 7, I'm going to have this piece of content, so I'll select it. Then I'll go down to drop zone 8, and I'll choose this shot here. Drop zone 9, this shot here. And drop zone 10, I'll choose this shot here. So you see how quickly you can just choose content. Now if I click Apply Clip, I'm done for all of them. So I'll deselect the transition and reselect it so I can see my parameters again. And I'll go back to camera view. And now we have drop zone content in every single one of those drop zones.